A little bit of a change of scenery because Steve has been promoted to the middle spot in the garage since I am finally at the putting miles on him stage. Put about 200-ish miles on last weekend. The tune definitely needs some work. I think my TPS sensor actually was going bad because my AFRs were all over the place. Put in a new TPS sensor and the TPS voltage seems to be better, but I haven't driven it since then, so we'll see. In the middle of this need to put miles and break in my engine, naturally I am going to do more projects that affect the drivability of the car and make it so I can't drive it and put miles on it. But you know, that's just the natural progression of things here. So today I am going to get started on my new roll bar. Now when it comes to roll bars, as far as my choice, it was determined by really two things. Number one, gussets. I like gussets. I paid extra to have gussets on my roll cage in my Mustang, so I will pay extra to have gussets on my roll bar. Gussets are cool, and don't tell me otherwise. Number two, the bar is approved for SCCA NASA Club Racing. That means safety. And ultimately, when you put a roll bar in your car, yes, it looks nice, yes, it looks cool, but ultimately you are putting in a roll bar for safety, so I will pay extra to have the safer roll bar. And this car is gonna go on track. There's like a 99.9% chance of that because even that car, the white one, my daily, has been on track. Even my F250 that is outside right now has been on a racetrack. So this car is gonna go on a racetrack, so I need that bar that's going to give me safety on the racetrack. Without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. The first step here, as far as I'm aware, is just really tearing apart the interior. What I didn't film for YouTube is while I was back here with everything off, I went ahead and swapped out my fuel pump for my new, more powerful fuel pump, bigger fuel pump. At this point, everything should be removed for the roll bar. Of course, I misplaced the directions from the manufacturer, so I'm just gonna hold it up, test fit it, and start cutting stuff. Really hard not to like scratch or bang anything as I'm... Alright, let's cut some shit. I'll put on safety glasses. Everyone likes to tell me I need to wear a face shield too, but the fact that I even do glasses is there they are. It's an improvement. Not just my safety squints. Cut. They're definitely on the large side. At the end of the day, you don't see those holes because there's gonna be fabric over them. So I'm not too worried about it. I've got to take out the lower seatbelt bolt Not the one that holds actually the seat belt down near the floor, but the lower bolt for the spool, the roll of the seat belt back here. I'm gonna pull that out. Got a couple wires I'm just gonna move to make sure they're not in the way. And then I should be able to get this fully in place. Once I have it there, I'm gonna mark all the holes. I can drill those holes and get it bolted in. Sneak peek. If you can see behind me, yes, the roll bar's in. We skipped a couple steps. I had an NB seat belt on the driver's side of my car because a couple years ago, my NA belt locked up, kicking things over. And when I went to test fit the roll bar, the NB seat belt is not the same dimensions. And it totally fit before and I had it bolted in. But when I went to put the roll bar in, the bolts weren't lining up and I decided, you know, it was backwards. I always had to have it turned. Anyway, I just decided it was time to buy an NA seatbelt. So I bought the seatbelt, tossed it in late 2 nights ago. I'm just gonna show you guys what it is that I did. I would begin by saying this is definitely a lot easier with 2 people. It's a lot more challenging with just one. But I went ahead, put it in, got the bolts that were matched up. Actually, 1, 2, 3 matched up perfectly. I could get the bolts through, it was fine. And then because it was just me, I actually duct taped the heads of the bolts. So I popped some duct tape on this after I put the heads in. And then we come down to the wheel well. There typically is a cover here. You're gonna remove that cover, it's some 10 mils. And you can see where those bolts come through here. And this is up top and here. Make sure that you put these plates on the other side. This is because the metal of the frame is not as strong or obviously as thick as this metal. So this adds extra support. So if the car rolls over and force is put on that roll bar, the bolts just don't pull through the body. But anyway, I taped the heads of the bolts, came down here, threaded on the nuts a little bit. They are locking nuts, so you'll only get them on so much. And then thankfully, because Miatas are small, I was able to hold a wrench up top while I used an impact underneath to tighten them up. I did leave them loose until everything was connected. And what did end up happening, like I said, 3 of them lined up perfectly. This one lined up perfectly, and both of those. But this one here was off. My holes were a little bit off. So I went in with a Dremel and just widened those holes a little bit until everything fit. And now everything's all bolted up, roll bar's mounted, and we're good to go. All that I have left to do now, this piece that goes right here, I've got to cut that so that I can get it on with the roll bar here. So I'm gonna kind of hold it up, figure out about where I need to cut, mark it, Dremel that off. That cut, I can put that in, and then I will need to trim some of these plastic panels a little bit as well. I know they're not the prettiest cuts. No one's gonna see them. I mean, there's the rust under here too, but got it cut out so it fits, the holes line up. So now I'm just gonna bolt that in, and then I can undo what I took apart in the interior. So that will be just a matter of replacing my, the carpet if you have the OEM carpet, but for me, it's gonna be that quilted leather, putting the top back on, and that should be it. I'm not gonna take you guys through the boring procedure of putting the interior back together. I think you guys can figure it out. But thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them below, or you can send them to me on Instagram. I'm much more likely to respond to them there, let's be honest. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.